The year was 1954. The Cold War cast a long shadow across the globe. Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion sought to buy time with a secret operation. Codenamed Susanna, it became infamous as the Lavon affair. Unit 131 was tasked with bombings in Egypt, their mission to sow discord and create fear. But the operation's failure led to catastrophic blowback. The roots of Operation Susanna can be traced back to the early 1950s. Egypt, under the leadership of Gamal Abdel Nasser, was undergoing a period of intense nationalism. Nasser's pan-Arabist ambitions and his defiance of Western influence made him a figure of concern for Israel. The signing of the Anglo-Egyptian Agreement in 1954, which paved the way for the withdrawal of British troops from the Suez Canal, further heightened Israeli anxieties. Israel viewed the British presence in the Suez Canal as a crucial buffer against potential Egyptian aggression. The agreement, seen as a strategic setback, fueled fears that Egypt, emboldened by its growing influence in the region, might turn its sights on Israel. It was against this backdrop of escalating tensions and geopolitical maneuvering that Operation Susanna was conceived. The operation, masterminded by Israel's military intelligence, was a desperate gamble, a high-stakes attempt to manipulate regional dynamics in Israel's favor. Its objective was not outright sabotage or the infliction of mass casualties, but rather the subtle manipulation of perceptions. The bombings were intended to be symbolic, designed to send a message and sow seeds of doubt in the minds of Western powers. However, the plan was fundamentally flawed, predicated on the assumption that Israel could control the narrative and escape detection. This miscalculation would prove to be its undoing. The operation, set in motion in July 1954, began with a series of small-scale bombings targeting civilian institutions in Egypt. The attacks, though causing minimal damage, succeeded in generating an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. However, the operation soon began to unravel, its delicate web of deception torn apart by a series of mishaps and miscalculations. On July 23, 1954, a bomb prematurely detonated in the pocket of one of the Unit 131 operatives in Alexandria. The explosion, though minor, attracted the attention of Egyptian authorities. A swift investigation led to the arrest of several members of the Israeli cell. Under interrogation, some members cracked, revealing the true nature of the operation and their affiliation with Israeli intelligence. The arrest of the Israeli operatives sent shockwaves through the Israeli government. The exposure of Operation Susanna threatened to unravel years of covert operations and jeopardize Israel's fragile relationships with Western powers. The scandal, quickly dubbed the Lavon affair after Pinchas Lavon, the Israeli defense minister forced to resign in the wake of the disaster, became a symbol of the perils of clandestine operations and the high price of deception. The fallout from the affair would have far-reaching consequences, both domestically and internationally, casting a long shadow over Israeli politics and intelligence operations for years to come. The exposure of Operation Susanna sent shockwaves through the international community. The revelation that Israel, a nation that portrayed itself as a beacon of democracy in the Middle East, had orchestrated a false flag operation against Western interests, caused widespread condemnation. The United States, already wary of Israel's aggressive foreign policy, expressed its displeasure, demanding a full accounting of events and threatening to cut off aid. The scandal also strained Israel's relations with Great Britain, further complicating negotiations over the future of the Suez Canal. The British, outraged by the targeting of their citizens and interests, demanded a formal apology and compensation for the victims. The Lavon affair, coming at a time of heightened tensions in the Middle East, threatened to destabilize the region and push it closer to the brink of war. Domestically, the affair triggered a political earthquake. The scandal, initially suppressed by the Israeli government, quickly spiraled out of control, fueled by leaks to the press and accusations of a cover-up. The public, outraged by the government's deceit and the bungled operation, demanded accountability. The affair led to the resignation of several high-ranking officials, including Defense Minister Pinchas Lavon, who vehemently denied any prior knowledge of the operation and claimed he had been framed by members of the Israeli military. The Lavon affair exposed deep divisions within Israeli society, polarizing public opinion and eroding trust in the country's leadership. The affair also had a profound impact on Israel's intelligence community, forcing a reassessment of operational protocols and ethical boundaries.